superstar, who has not seen his team have a solid free agency at all, and that's Damian Lillard. And he said Friday, quote, they didn't get guys they would have liked. Now, Brian, how has Portland's lack of notable moves here affected Lillard's desire to stay with his team?
Yeah, we've been down this road 3 or 4 times just in the last month, and it's hard to read what Dame is talking about. I think he really just wanted all in. He wanted them to trade their draft picks. He wanted them to do what some of these other teams have done, where they've sort of cashed in all of their assets. And they had a solid free agency. They re-signed Norm Powell. He's paid him $90 million. Made a couple of decent, veteran free agent signings. Ben McLemore and Cody Zeller. Those are guys that should help the rotation. But he was out there watching other teams go chasing after stars, and they didn't get one in Portland. So, here we are, right where we were a few weeks ago. Is Dame serious about wanting some change, that he would maybe shake the tree, or is he just going to go along and sort of passively, aggressively complain about it? And I guess we'll have to wait and see, because this is sort of the same tone he's taken now for quite some time.
He's repeatedly said that he expects to be a Blazer next year, but it also said, hey, I'm not making any firm decisions on what my future will be. That's Brian Windhorst, whose future includes a safe trip back to the United States here over the next 24 hours. Thank you, sir. Meanwhile, the biggest star on the free agent market is not going anywhere, even though he opted out of his original deal. As expected, Kawhi Leonard will be re-signing with the LA Clippers. Terms still in the process of being finalized. In 2 seasons with the Clips, he's averaged 26 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 5 assists per game.
We really appreciate that. I had to, though, bring back this flow chart that you wrote and posted at the beginning of free agency. We put it on the show that day.
Impressive.
You just did this like in a conference room for yourself, right?
Oh yeah, I was actually locked in a conference room by myself. There was nobody. There were windows there, and that was we hadn't even gotten to free agency yet. So you imagine what I can do right now with about 4 hours sleep. So yeah, and that was basically, we showed how Kyle Lowry dictated free agency, and it all lined up as far as Kyle's move to Miami and how all the other pieces kind of fell in place.
Well, from that flow chart, the other storylines that flow we're talking about, right, some of the biggest storylines between the season begins. You have got the Dame Lillard situation going on in Portland, because, he's got a 4th album coming out. Should we talk about that, Matt?
Absolutely.
Okay. Or maybe we'll talk about which team he's going to play for next year.